So the one thing that we should be questioning ourselves after all this session today is, we've seen all these manipulations, Zoe. Can a negotiation be really ethical? Harvard thinks it can. They wrote a book about it. They call it Getting to Yes. And they say that if you follow their principles, then your negotiations can actually be ethical. So let's see what these principles are and how we can follow them. So we separate the person from the problem. That means that you can be tough at the problem, but you don't have to be tough with the person, which means don't make it personal. Don't let your biases about the person affect the situation you're under now. For example, you're a liar, so I bet this is a lie. The moment you put a label on something or someone, it's over both for you and for them. Because, one, if I think you're a liar, or lazy, or stupid, or whatever, I don't really value the information you're giving me. I'm not really objective in this particular negotiation. This is the one thing. But the most important thing that happens is that the moment I believe something about you, you're going to become that something. This is the power of labels. The official psychological term is what we call meta-stereotypes. So it's the way the people for which we have stereotypes internalize those stereotypes. An amazing experiment that went on to test this theory was a couple of years ago in a school. And what they did is, this school had a new teacher that year. So what they did is, in the beginning of the school year, they changed the grades of the students. So the bad students, on paper, they had all the good grades. And the good students, on paper, they had all the bad grades. And they gave them to the teacher. What do you think happened in a year? The good became bad, and the bad became good. Why? Because suddenly the good lost all of the attention. Suddenly the teacher would say, yeah, you don't know the answer. Okay, you tell me. And suddenly the bad students, they were given time. And the teacher would be, don't worry. Think about it. I'm waiting. And suddenly there was no motivation for the good anymore. And everything changed, the entire dynamic. The moment a person decides in an office that you are the hard one to work, you're the challenging one, you're the lazy one, you're the one who's doing the mistakes, give it some time, they're going to be all that. And the moment you decide, I can't talk to this colleague, they're very difficult. They will become difficult because you never talk to them. You actually never sit down to negotiate with them. And even if someone is difficult, let me tell you this, most of the times they don't know. The really difficult people in the office, the really manipulative one, or the really aggressive ones, they have no idea because no one ever tells them. A company invited me to do a training in mobbing, bullying in the workspace. When I finish the training, a guy comes to me and says, Miss Fragou, I want to talk to you. I say, okay. This was the reason I was there. I knew from the HR, this was the bully who was bullying everyone. I said, oh my God, it's going to be a confrontational moment. And he said to me, I want to thank you because you made me realize something amazing today. I said, what? I'm a victim of mobbing. And I was, what did I do so wrong today? Did I say everything wrong? What did I do? But then it hit me. This person is having all the consequences of their behavior without the reasoning. So because he's the bully of the office, people gossip. Because he's the bully of the office, people marginalize him. They don't invite him to parties, to drinks. So he has all that, but no one has made the connection. You are the problem. Do you understand? You are the problem because you did this and that to me. And the more aggressive a person is, the more they get through life without these experiences actually leaving a mark. Let's move on. Like I said, this one very important. We never negotiate on positions. We negotiate on interests. We always try to shift from position-based negotiation to interest-based negotiation. Asterisk, as far as we know, where our interest is based. We try to bring the results in an amicable way because we don't want, what did we say in the beginning? Yes, you're good. We don't want transactional cost. So the more amicable is the way and the more gentle we are, the more possible it is that is in the future we can talk again to this person, we can negotiate again. The more solutions we develop, the more possible it is to come to an agreement. Especially if we really want something, we should sit down and offer a solution until they agree. I really want the day off. You can't have that day off. Okay, I will work the day after. No, because that doesn't work. Okay, what about if I work 2 days, one and one there? What about next Christmas? What about if I finish the report earlier? What about if I take it home? The more solutions you have developed, if something is important to you, the more possibilities to happen. This one is interesting. Have you ever been in a bank and there's always someone in the queue screaming something like, but I need it now. And then someone tells them, but the applications ended 2 weeks ago. So not everything is up for negotiation. When there is a process, when there is a protocol, when something can set precedent, there is a thin line between being assertive and being obsessed. We are always open to justifications, but we focus on reality. I told you some important things for today. I would say this is the last really important thing that I want you to remember. Every time I focus on someone's motives, I lose track of reality. What does this mean? It means that motivation is something that we don't know. We don't know why a person does something. As a psychologist, let me tell you that sometimes we ask people in private, why did you do that? And they have no idea. So imagine us trying to figure out why they're doing what they're doing. And the reason this is so problematic is because based on our definition and our choice of why are they doing that, we change our behavior. Instead of focusing on what actually happened, we behave based on why we think it happened. Example. My colleague gets in the office and they're very, very rude. Like they get in the office and they're like, oh, leave me alone. Oh, you're very stupid, whatever. I might say, okay, this is unacceptable and we need to work it. Or I might say, they had a very bad day today, that's why they're so angry. Which I don't know. It's my decision of why this has happened. And suddenly, instead of responding of setting a boundary to the problematic behavior, I'm responding to the very comfortable idea of mine of why it happened, which avoids confrontation. And then this bad behavior is just going to escalate. It's going to get worse. Because, by the way, you know what happens to bad behaviors? They're like bad roots in a garden. You let them there instead of burn them, and they grow and they grow. And after a while, you don't have any garden anymore. It's just wild green. How do we do all that? Let's see some very important principles when negotiating in order to be ethical, moral, and kind. We never underestimate what is being said from the other side. That sometimes means that for a small person, a small problem is a big problem. Think of a child that has an ice cream, and then this ice cream falls, and the child starts crying. You can tell the child, you know what, do you want a new ice cream? And buy them a new ice cream. You can tell them, I understand you feel bad. Do you want a hug? What do you need? Or you can tell the child, you know what, life happens, I'm sorry, this is too much for me, though, and I'm not going to do anything with your emotions. All these three are acceptable. The only thing that's unacceptable is telling the child, I don't understand why you're reacting like that. It's just an ice cream. You cannot invalidate other people's emotions. You can choose whether you want to be part of that scenario or you want to excuse yourselves. But you need to be validating the reality. Otherwise, you're just gaslighting them. This child might have been waiting for this ice cream the entire week. You have no right to tell them you shouldn't cry over an ice cream. Second thing is active listening. What is active listening? It's actually listening to you. Sounds so simple, and yet it's not. Why? Because, one, I might be distracted. 2, I might be thinking that I know what you're going to tell me. 3, I might be thinking what I'm going to respond. And 4, I might be having opinions about you that don't allow me to actually listen. Oh, this person is always overreacting. This already sounds too much. So I have no idea what you're saying. The problem when I'm not actively listening is I will be never finding solutions because I'm not receiving the data. I'm not receiving the information. Some tips that help with active listening. 1, ask open-ended questions, a lot of questions. It keeps you mindful. Why do you say that? Why do you think this happened? Can you give me your idea about that? 2, has anyone done psychotherapy ever here? Have you noticed how your therapist always rephrase what you say and repeat it back? It's a way to make sure that we're all both on the same page. So the person might be saying, this was awful. I cannot believe this happened. You might say, I understand you're very angry about it. Is that correct? This helps you stay in the discussion and understand better what they're saying. Okay? And the third one, don't be afraid to win for yourself some time. If you're not in the position to discuss about something at that particular moment, it's okay to say, you know what, right now I'm a bit fuzzy or dizzy. Can we do it in 5 minutes? Or I'll get back to you. No one ever has gotten mad because you told them, I can do it in 5 minutes. Many people have gotten mad because they told you something and you said, well, can you repeat? I didn't listen to anything. If you don't have the mental space for something, you need to find a way that works for you to gain space and time. It's not the same for everyone. For me, it's humor usually. If I don't know what to do, I'm being funny. For other people, it's being very kind. For other people, being very open. The thing is that whatever suits you, as long as you have a plan. And finally, we try to get to know our opponent up front and frame our presence with feasibility. That means we need to be making our lives as easy as possible. If I want to go to my professor at the university and ask for extra days because I didn't have time to finish my studies or my essay, I can't show up with my party outfit from last night. Because they say, Zoe, if you have time for party, you have time for your essay. Okay, it's simple as that. Think about how this can work for you in every setting and do it accordingly in order to help yourselves. What I'm trying to say with all this is that we need to have a very active approach towards negotiations, towards assertiveness. It's not, I happen to see you here, you were in the corridor, I was on the corridor, this is very important for me, I have done zero preparation, let's do the discussion now. No. The more you practice, the more you prepare, the more you collect data, the more you organize, the more possible it is to get what you want in life, and also to not be giving what you don't want to give, because the other peoples are more prepared. Finally, coming to our end, I want to tell you a story about a business coaching client that I had. So her name was Alex. And Alex is a graphic designer, a really amazing graphic designer. She's doing branding, she's doing a lot of creative work. But she was in this company for 5 years, and she never got a promotion, never. Same position, same money, same everything. We were working together, she had a lot of confidence issues, she was very shy. And I asked her, what's happening? Why do you never? And she says, every time we have the feedback calls, it's very hard for me to have these calls. I said, well, what's the system of the feedback calls? And basically, this company had a system where you had to evaluate yourself as well, up to 5. If you put yourself below 3 or above 3 in any category, you had to justify it. If you put a 3, you didn't have to say anything. So because Alex didn't want to have this discussion and felt bad about having to actually stand up for herself and say, no, I deserve more than a 3. I'm not a 3. She couldn't have that. This was very hard for her. So she always put 3. Anyway, this happened. She mentioned that in the beginning of our work together. Time passes, we work, and the evaluation period comes. And at the end of one session, she says, by the way, I need to fill the form today. I say, what? And you tell me at the end of the session, can I see? He says, but we're out of time. No, I want to, it's okay. I want to see it. Open the form. And again, she put 3 in everything. And I said, Alex, we worked together for a year. If it is to give that form, find yourself another person to work with. You either change yourself, change this form, and you're ready to go there and explain that I've never missed a deadline, I'm always proactive, I do the best work, I take the more tasks, or find another person to work with. I close the call. She does. She sends me a message, you know what? I put 5 to myself in everything, I've written the explanation, I'm ready. She goes, and the moment she gives the report, her boss says, finally, you stood up for yourself. He didn't even ask for the explanations. The manager said, amazing. You know what? I was always so afraid to promote you because you never want to speak for yourself and we have this team that needs to be run. Anyway, after that, she got like 2 promotions in 1 year. Then she changed company. Now, last time I talked to her, she said, I'm bored, I'm leaving. I have a new offer. Skyrocket. But what I want to say with this story is this. The worst negotiations are the ones you never showed up for. Every time you're scared to say what you need and to stand up for yourselves, somebody else will be just getting it instead of you. And you'll be left in the zone of resentment. That's the worst case scenario. Just a complaint is the least of that. Resentment is the worst, but still, that's not the happy and growth zone. Basically, you can do a lot of things as long as you don't get insulting. And you really care about, 1, finding a solution, 2, maintaining this relationship in a healthy way, you will know what to do. Okay. And I think we need to go on a break.
Yeah. Before
Thank you very much.
Thank you.